So what's going on here? How can strategy be both more important than ever and increasingly questioned? It really does seem like strategy itself needs a strategy of some sort. Let's try and make sense of that. Let's strip strategy of all its complexity and nuance and just, what is it? Well, it's basically getting a job done. It's a tool. And the job is winning competitively in a particular situation. And we can capture those particular situations, I think, with just 3 very simple questions. Can we predict it and can we plan it? Can we shape it and can we survive it? Now, there are all sorts of changes that we've talked about that are going on in business across the last 10, 20, 30 years. Technology, globalization, social feedback loops. But I think strategically, the most important change is that business has been stretched by the forces of change across more of this space. So we still have very predictable businesses, ones where technology change isn't so fast, where strong brands protect against change. And we have very unpredictable businesses. We have businesses that haven't changed for decades and are not easily shaped. We have ones that have just been brought into being and therefore are infinitely shapeable. We have high-growth hit technology businesses that have very favorable conditions, and we have declining businesses in declining markets meeting very harsh conditions. So the question is, what approach to winning would apply across this huge diversity of environments? What's the approach to strategy that maximizes your chance of winning given this incredible diversity? Well, it doesn't exist. This sweater is not here. There is no one size which fits all. The approach to strategy has to match the situation. This shouldn't surprise us. In fact, mathematicians have actually logically proven that there can be no universal approach to strategy across all problem sets. It really just depends upon the problem. So let's rethink that question of how to win in different environments and get a feel for what's the best approach to strategy in 5 very different types of environment. Let's go back to this space. First, let's start with the familiar classical environment. We can predict strong brands, limited technology change, perhaps higher regulation. So we can plan. We can analyze and plan and execute in the classical manner, and that's just fine if you're in branded household products or confectionery or a host of other industries. But what if you're in a turbulent technology industry where it's virtually impossible to forecast and you're in an adaptive environment? Well, we can't plan, so we shouldn't try. It's a waste of time. What can we do instead? We take a leaf from biology and we experiment, we adapt. The mantra becomes experiment, select, scale up, and iterate, a very different way of thinking about strategy. Think about the environment of the entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs get actually to shape and to predict. How could they do that? It's because they are creating their environment by creating products such as 3D printing or personal genomic services. So the mantra of a strategy is very different again. You envisage something which doesn't exist, and you realize that in reality, and you exploit it. A very different way of thinking about strategy. Think about the exotic environment of the shaping environment. Here we have the ability to influence, but not the ability to predict. How could that be? That's because an ecosystem of many companies are collectively reshaping an industry. Think about, for example, the digital commerce businesses of Alibaba or the software or hardware ecosystems of Apple. Here we see an ecosystem at work. And the thinking is much more about influencing, collaborating, orchestrating, and co-evolving than about necessarily only competing. Then the penalty box, the renewal environment. If a company is talking about transformation or something of this sort, then basically it's gotten out of step with this environment and it faces very harsh conditions. And the objective here is not competitive advantage, it is mere survival. And the mantra is different again. This is about focusing activities, freeing up resources, and then transiting to another approach to strategy. 5 very different environments, 5 very different ways of thinking about strategy, all unleashed by one extra question. And that extra question is, what is the approach to winning in the particular environment that I face? Now, you're probably thinking, which of those approaches would work with my business? And that would be precisely the wrong question. And that's because all large businesses operate in multiple markets with multiple products, multiple lines of business, that face different conditions, each requiring their own approach. And furthermore, conditions change across time and increasingly quickly. So really, this is about choosing the right approach to winning in the right part of the business at the right time. And leaders today, I think, have a very key role in making sure that this strategy collage is vibrant, dynamic, and in tune with a changing environment.
Una idea similar al título de este video podría ser que resulta necesario planificar el planeamiento estratégico. El marco de análisis que propone el expositor es útil, sin embargo, hace necesaria una fase previa que tal vez requiera estar sustentada en datos. En las situaciones típicas en las cuales la alta dirección no está dispuesta a invertir mucho tiempo en planeamiento, se puede utilizar el juicio de este equipo de gerencia para acordar hacer un proceso de planeamiento más corto o más extenso, dando énfasis a ciertos aspectos más que otros. Lo que siempre se incluirá en el planeamiento será el diagnóstico y la formulación. Similar a la práctica médica, no se puede prescribir el tratamiento o las terapias, sin antes tener claridad en las causas de los males. Gracias por su atención. Esperamos que visiten nuestras redes y página web para encontrar otros recursos que puedan serles de utilidad.